guys, welcome back to the Nets, the home of unbiased views. So, hi, it's been really long that we've done this. Hi, Kevin, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's been a busy last few weeks, I know. Um, I was planning on covering IPL, but then the big ESL draft broke out, and then all the attention was focused away from IPL towards Arsenal. But back
That's
to
okay.
cricket again.
That's okay. So, how are things? How are things with you? I know it's been slightly bad for the Mumbai Indians, but how has it been otherwise? It has not been a very it's not been the same that we predicted, but it's been a joyride. You've seen players emerging out of nowhere like Prithvi Shaw. How he whatever he's doing right now is just phenomenal. You never at the start of the season you would have never thought that he would do this. So it's been a good season for even Devdutt Palikal. Whatever he did was beautiful. So yeah.
So for me, IPL, I look at it from two ways. One of them is definitely Mumbai Indians. I would want them to win every time. But then I would like to also keep an eye on a close eye on who is
It
going to
is.
be playing for India A pretty soon, because India is the pretty much the launch pad, right? This is where you uh, practice all your skills, and then you come in, you learn everything that you need, how to handle pressure and things like that, and then you play for India. And of all these things, I definitely feel that Prithvi Shaw has taken his game up a notch right after his horrible season in Australia.
To be
He has
fair,
come
to
back.
be fair, he was just given two deliveries to perform, which he didn't. Both of
Right,
them
and
were
all fairness
pitch.
to Team India, the changes that they did actually were valid enough. Prithvi Shah wasn't looking like himself. He was
Absolutely.
not looking like he is looking right now. So all fairness, and Mumbai and India came back victorious. So we cannot really say that he was unfairly dropped when we don't have any numbers to justify it. But nonetheless, Prithvi Shaw has stood out. Devdutt Padikkal has stood out. I feel the bigger success story here is the rise of the bowlers that we have seen. Shivam Mavi come in. He has started, being consistent. Uh, Bhuvneshwar Kumar got a long run. He has looked brilliant as well, phenomenal. Then you have the new likes of Sakaria coming in and bowling in the death. He's looked someone who's doesn't have the pace but has amazing control.
You cannot talk about bowlers and miss Harshal Patel.
Harshal Patel has been good, and Avesh Khan has been good. So it seems like a decent pace battery is emerging from India. Spinners wise, Mishra has been good, but again, not really someone for the future. I think Bishnoi has stepped in, and Bishnoi has looked good, and he's going to be playing for India. It's just a matter of time when.
It is
So new faces
seeing
coming in.
how Uzis performed and how because there is a little something with UZ right now. So I think Bishnoi is a better fit, and the way he's bowling, that's just brilliant. And even Chahar, for that matter of fact, he's constantly picking up a couple of wickets here and there in each game. There are only two odd games that he's gone wicketless. I might be mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But he's also bowling really well. It's
both the both the Chahar brothers are knocking on the doors. I mean, Deepak Chahar has already made his international debut, but he is right back there again, knocking on the doors. If he's not the first pick, he's definitely going to be the second pick. He's if Bhuvaneshwar Kumar at any point of time needs a rest, then Chahar steps in. Is how I'm looking at it. But yeah, good times and promising times for Indian
even
cricket in the future.
Arshdeep, for the matter of fact, Arshdeep has played really well. Really, he's bowled really well, and to have that 18th and 20th over to finish off the game, which says a lot about him, about the character, and about KL Rahul also putting in that trust, right? So that's one off. So, talking about what are we here to do today, we'll talk about Mumbai Indians, however they are doing, there are ups and downs, and happenings in the world of cricket. So let's go to how. What do you think is lacking with Mumbai Indians? Because there's certainly a gap.
Um, the pitch in Chennai was not at all favoring our style of play. We have a set template that we always use. We want the openers, one of the openers, to play long till the 10th over, and then the three big players or supposedly big players come in and knock the ball around. But the way Chennai was batting, and this was a learning lesson for Hardik Pandya, and he has failed, sadly. Hardik should have built an inning, and Hardik should have taken the game down there, but that didn't happen. So, nonetheless, now that we are not going to play in Chennai anymore, I think we can start looking at a season where things will start looking up for us again. Um, but
We had a
not
couple of wins
happy
in
the way
Chennai.
Hardik performed.
We had a couple of wins in Chennai, right?
We had 2 wins in Chennai, and
So
both of them came in because of the bowlers, not because of the batsmen.
yeah, one was surprising. Krunal Pandya, he won the game for us. That
4 overs,
18,
12 runs. Yeah.
and the second win was against. I'm,
One was KKR and one was Hyderabad
and today was
Sunrisers, and both of them were against a team that, for some reason, the captaincy has been a question mark. Warner, for me, is not an automatic selection as a captain, and neither is Owen Morgan with the current form.
yep.
I firmly believe that with the IPL, they have to make it a point that we need to iron out who is going to lead India in the front. Make an Indian local person a captain. And for me, KL Rahul, we can definitely weed out that he is going to be a coward captain if he's ever given a captain's band. He's not a captain. So, we can at least weed out players this way. Pant needs to get out of the shadows of Ricky Ponting. He is, the Pant from first game to Pant now looks different. Pant is starting to talk again, chirping from behind the wickets, making changes. So, Pant from those days to Pant now, you can actually see an evolution
But
as a captain.
he's also miscalculating his overs. So if you so there was a thing where in the last game that Delhi played that he miscalculated the number of overs and last over was given to bowl to someone who was extremely random. So which shouldn't happen at this level.
And
So
he has to get out of Ricky Ponting's shadow, and I think he's doing it. He's evolving, which is good. You can see all these players coming out from that camp, and it makes you happy. No one's missing Shreyas Iyer, which is a good thing for Delhi. Good thing for the overall draft that's going to happen next year as well. We may just get Shreyas Iyer thrown in the pool now, and I really hope Mumbai goes after him.
looking at long perspective, yeah, he looks as a player who would be there for long. So, so what do you? There's a lot said about Krunal Pandya. He won us one game, but technically he was the reason why we lost the others also. So Pollard and Pollard and Deshaun Kishan couldn't do punch. Whereas to today's game, they had one change. I was surprised to see a bowler come in for a batsman wherein our batting did not perform. So that was a shocking move, but that also meant that it was a make or break for QDK. So if he wouldn't have performed today, Chris Lynn would come in and Ishan Kishan would keep wickets. So it and how much of a difference is Krunal Pandya going to make in the long run? That is
I think if there is ever a chance to pick between Krunal, because in the next IPL auction, Mumbai will have to let go of 2 players. They will have to let go of either Krunal, Surya Kumar Yadav, or Ishan Kishan. Now, if on the current form, if you ask me, my first pick will be Krunal Pandya, just because he doesn't offer you consistently. He doesn't offer you the same things consistently. We can definitely get a either a 100% batsman or a 100% bowler there. He does give you that balance that you can rely on his 4 overs, but it's not. I cannot say you can rely on those 4 overs. He bowls those 4 overs. Sometimes they can go for 35 odd, sometimes they go for 18 odd, and he manages to get a wicket here and there. But for him to succeed, the pitch is vital.
correct, but then there are days where he's just bowled one over For example, today he's just bowled 1 over. So
Right. So if you ask me if I have to make a pick of who should Mumbai leave out if these three players are in the market, I'm definitely keeping Surya Kumar Yadav.
I don't think
Uh,
there should be any question about letting him go.
exactly. So I mean, Jayant Patel is going to go. Jayant,
Yadav.
Jayant Yadav is going to go. So if you look at it, I know Mahila Jayawardene and Parthiv Patel are brilliant minds that are working in the Mumbai camps, but I really feel that Krunal will be on the market. Krunal might make a move next year.
I guess he. I won't be surprised if he has a right to match card. So right to match card which is made for him. So anyhow,
If I do have that card, I would use it for Ishan. I would rather keep Ishan just because Ishan is a local talent who does two things. He does batting and he keeps wickets.
so how
So
many
if we have to let go QDK, we have Ishan as a batsman, a backup.
for the next draft? How many players are we have to let them go?
There is a rule that with the cap players, you have to keep a certain amount of cap players in. And because uh, Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav both got their caps, one of them will definitely go.
No, I'm
And
saying how many players are you allowed to keep? So there'll be a
I
core
think
set.
four capped. Yeah. So
So there's definitely Rohit Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah, Hardik Pandya in
Hardik.
the mix. There's a question for one more.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I genuinely feel that our bowlers have not performing. Bowlers didn't do much. Also because we were not meant for that pitch. That's number one.
Not meant for that pitch. And for me, the other thing that I would say that has stood out in this whole IPL has been Team Chennai. I had completely written them off.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
had not thought that they would be doing what they are doing right now. But this is the brilliance of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, that a player like Moeen Ali, whose career was pretty much at the fag end and he was, not really doing much, has suddenly started performing. And he's not just performing, he's claiming man of the match awards as he goes forward. So for me, that has been all credit to Mahendra
And
Singh Dhoni for that.
how important is Mahendra Singh Dhoni for that team? So you pick Mahendra Singh Dhoni out of the team and just make him sit outside on the bench. Do you think this Chennai will be the same Chennai? No, it won't.
It won't. It won't. I mean, it's players like Faf du Plessis, 37 years old, and yet they are performing. Ravindra Jadeja is a class apart himself. We cannot really. I don't think Ravindra Jadeja has done anything wrong in the past 5 or 7 years. He has just gone from strength to strength.
Apart from
So,
he ending a prestigious Indian commentator's career,
yeah, I don't really think Ravindra Jadeja has done anything wrong, and he's just going to get better from here. But Mahendra Singh Dhoni is he's special for a reason. He sits back and he does what he does. And even the other day, I don't know if anybody knew it, but when he brought in Jadeja, he told Jadeja before the ball that this is going to turn because he just felt the ball. It wasn't wet, or he said this is a dry ball. This is going to turn, and Jadeja took wicket of the very first ball. So it's he just he is that special.
he knows. He
He
knows.
knows he knows the game before.
Even before the season started, we said we don't know about Chennai because it can go either way
Yeah,
with
it can go either ways.
with Dhoni's touch. So yeah, and what's a prediction for the future? What's a prediction for the IPL future? So your top four for now. We're almost at
Top
the
four
halfway stage.
at this point, I would say Chennai and RCB are definitely going through. Surprised that Punjab is not being a part of that. Punjab has all the things, but they have a really poor captain. So I'm not surprised Punjab is out there. I think just based on the fact that Mumbai is going to play their second innings in either Ahmedabad or Delhi, I think Mumbai has a good chance of making that list as well. And the fourth team for me is again a mystery because all the other teams are playing really bad rather than someone playing good. You have these three teams with horrible captains, Morgan, Warner, and Rahul.
You have
So
Pant in
sadly,
the
one
mix.
of these
You have Pant in the mix. You have Delhi Capitals.
Pant will be making. I think Pant will make the cut. Pant will. These would be the 4 teams that are going to make it.
Yeah, I think it will be a toss up between Mumbai and Hyderabad. So whoever wins. So from now, Hyderabad is going to will play better. There's no downhill from here for Hyderabad.
Again, we have said this many a times. Williamson is the difference maker.
Absolutely.
He on the same Chennai pitch, Williamson can strike at 140 when the whole team doesn't do it. So it just shows the class.
Oh, dude, and you also have to talk about Mr. Kedar Jadhav.
Okay, I mean, there's nothing. Kedar Jadhav in his youth was a match winner. He did win matches for India, and now it's again his career is coming to an end. We cannot really, blame him for getting old. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. He's getting old. He's still out there. Nothing wrong with it. He wants to play. He wants to enjoy his game. But again, talking about all the batsmen, I know people talk about Virat Kohli and Williamson and Joe Root, but I feel personally Williamson is on a different planet. And then there is a second level, Kohli, Joe Root, and Babar Azam, if there is one.
Absolutely. I can't agree more to it.
Anyhow, talking about all the other games that are happening, Sri Lankan cricket is going through a bad phase. Players coming out and getting banned for things that they have been doing in the past. Nuwan Zoysa is the latest one who got a 6-year ban for corruption.
Okay, that's horrible.
Yeah, for hiding to the corruption committee that he was being approached by a bookie. So he has been banned for 6 years. But then talking about the other world cricket that is happening, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh playing it out, and their first game was
5,000, 10,000 odd runs were scored in that game.
Pretty much, if not more. And even today, I think they are playing on an absolute belter. Sri Lanka is 291 for 1 at the end of the day. So they are pretty much moving to a position where they cannot lose this game. But one of the things that can be said, Palekele, or for that matter, any Sri Lankan pitch, is it deteriorates really fast. So if a team manages to score 500, 600 plus on the first day, you can definitely say they are not losing. So surprise package was Zimbabwe beating Pakistan in 1 T20. And that too in a game where the required rate was less than 6. So Pakistan cricket, who has been primarily revolving around Rizwan and Babar Azam, and the day when Rizwan failed, it actually exposed a little bit of Babar Azam's drawback as a batsman, or Babar Azam's deficiencies as a batsman. He was not able to drive the team forward. He played 48 odd balls and scored just 45 runs. So I think more than Babar Azam, Rizwan is the one who holds the team together. And I was going through the rankings today, and it turns out Rizwan is actually moved up in the top 10 for T20s. So good for him.
But Rizwan's also leading the team, right?
No, Babar leads the team. Rizwan has started opening. Babar has been leading team in all 3 formats, but Rizwan has been opening now. So, oh well, it is what it is.
Hey guys. So yeah, that's it for today. Yeah. So
that's it for today. So guys, if you have come in this far, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you have heard us before, give us a shout out if you can. It will be super helpful. And wherever you guys are, stay healthy, stay safe. I know times are really bad, but stick it out.
Bye bye. Peace out.